Hi folks, welcome to my Bit Retro Journal. I'm playing with my Amiga, and this is for hashtag Amiga, which is celebrating all things Amiga in the month of May. And I finally hooked my joystick up to my Amiga. I've always been using it on my QL. It's just an Atari style joystick, so it should work on the Amiga's joystick. And in fact, I even tested it. So if I look, I have a tool called Joyport test, and indeed it works up, down, right, and yep, so that works. But what I wanted to do is actually see if I can't also have the joystick control the mouse. And I found a couple of utilities. So there's Joy Mouse, which is the best of the two, and if you click that, you give it a parameter and the speed of the mouse. I found 8 is a pretty good one. And do that, it'll open up a little window saying that it's run. And so now I can actually use my mouse. So this is very much like the QL, and it has the same kind of feel. It sort of starts slow and speeds up. And I can close it. Close that. Close that. And then what I want to see is I have these WHD load games, Lemmings. And the nice thing is the mouse still works here as well, right? So, but I can use the mouse, and I'm going to start up Lemmings demo. And yep, starting up. It gets a little, it's a little finicky because sometimes it just runs out of memory, so you have to be careful, especially with only a 1 megabyte machine. But what I want to see is if this can help me use the joystick. I don't think so. I think this is mostly for Workbench, emulating the mouse in Workbench. If you know of a tool that just completely fakes out a mouse movements given a joystick, that would be great, because you know, in my Sega Genesis I have Lemmings, and I use the control pad for that. Yeah, so the mouse works, but not this one. Thought I just saw it move, but no, it's not moving. Yep, so that doesn't do it. Another one would be, let's try this one. This is the Christmas Lemmings. I assume it's going to run the same way. Yeah, so I think this is just a driver for Workbench and not a game. So let's see how that goes. Would be nice, because I would love to use a joystick on these. That's just how I've played them. So the mouse works, but the joystick does not. Yeah. All right, so that didn't do it. There is another one that I have. So if I go back into tools, and the way to deactivate this is you hold the mouse button, the right mouse button, and the fire button, and that'll just take this off. I think I accidentally moved this up. And then the other one is JCon mouse, and this one is simpler. It just has 4 modes, and one of them is 3, which says use the joystick port, but with a joystick on it as a mouse. And so 0 is default. So if I do that, but it actually deactivates the mouse, and it claims that this is actually part of the Workbench. But you can see it's really slow, so it's a little bit unusable. But again, I don't think this is going to have any different impact with regard to yeah, it's pretty slow. Close that, and so it's kind of unusable. But you know, if that would cause Lemmings to work, I'd be all for it. Ooh, man, that's painful. Let's do the Lemmings. I'm just going to do the Lemmings demo. I have to do both since they both kind of work the same. And see, yep, starts up again. I had to go into the startup sequence and turn off a bunch of things to get Lemmings to actually, WHD load to actually run if I run anything else on there. It's pretty finicky. but again, because I don't have any expansion on here, I should probably get at least a memory expansion or something if I want to do WHD load games. But well, it's going to start up here in a second. So the mouse is working. Boy, I always feel I can get, maybe this is just momentum. I always feel like the first time it moves a little bit, but that's probably just the mouse on the, yeah, so it doesn't work. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to do is, I have, so I got this package in, from the UK, and this is from an individual called, he sent me a sticker. It's called Goldfish on Games, and he's a YouTuber that does game reviews, and he had an extra one of these that he sent me, and this is a basically a converter that converts a Sega Genesis game controller, such as this, to work on an Amiga. It has a switch for both Commodore and Amiga, Commodore 64 and Amiga, but this will help the Amiga use this as a joystick. So I wanted to try that. So let me set this up a bit. It's going to take a little bit of, so I'm going to come back. So stay tuned. So I had to get a little creative. So this connector is not designed for the Amiga 600. So this little piece right here needs to be, I don't know if I can, I don't want to take it off, but if you can zoom in on this. So it's this little piece right here that's extra. It needs to be taken off in order to fit onto the Amiga side of things. And so I just used an extension cable for now. And then I have my Sega controller on here. And what I'm going to do is go under Tools again. I'm not sure why this is... and use my Joyport test. And you can see here that up. Yeah, so that works. And that goes up, but there are switches here where you can select what the C and the B button do on this. But yeah, so I can use that. And in fact, let's see if I can use this now as using Joy Mouse 8. Okay, let's see if this controls mine. Yeah, look at that. I can, yeah. And again, if I hit, I think, the C button and this, yeah, it's off. Okay, so that works. Like I said, I can't use it for my Lemmings game, but still pretty cool gadget. That's going to allow me to use these controllers. Now I have another one. I'm trying to make sure this is kind of dark. So I have another controller. Let me. So I want to reboot the machine because I don't know if I'm allowed to take unplug a joystick from my Amiga while it's turned on. So I'm being very cautious. So let me turn this off again. So what I have is I have this thing. I've shown this on my channel before. It is an infrared remote that I hooked to my Sega Genesis, and it's two connectors for one in joystick or gamepad 2. So I want to plug the one into this. All right, and then I'm going to just put this on top of the Amiga right here. And now I want to turn this on again. Okay, I've got the remote sitting on top of the Amiga. I've got it hooked in. Game controller 1 hooked to this. And so here it is. And so I'm going, again, if you see, if I press this, the light comes on, so it does have power. I'm going to give it a try here with the Joy tester, and let's see what it does. So I'm going to hook. It has lots of spurious, and it doesn't actually hold the signal. So I'm pressing down and it's not, yeah, it registers it as a single, but it doesn't hold it down. So I don't know, okay, let's, so what happens if I turn on the Joy mouse? Again, I'm going to do 8 again because that's a good one to use. And so here we go. Yeah, it just stops. So it doesn't, because it's, like if you do this, it actually works kinda. And the button. Yeah, but it's not, for whatever reason, it just loses, it's just intermittent. So yeah, I don't know why it doesn't work. I mean, it's this thing, I believe, supplies the 5 volts, because otherwise this wouldn't work. But yeah, so that doesn't quite work the way I expected it to work. So that's too bad. This would have been kind of cool to be able to use on the Amiga. So the last thing I want to try is to see if this doohickey actually works on the QL's joystick port. The QL doesn't supply 5 volts. It just does the checks for the closed circuits, but let's see if I can get that to go. So I'm going to reposition everything, and I'm not going to try this on the QL because I know the QL doesn't provide the 5 volts, but and I believe this does. So let me actually check to see, make sure that's true. So I got the voltmeter propped up on my QL, and if I, oops, then of course I have to move it. So let's prop this up on my QL, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to test. It's the bottom two, the ground, and are these two. So if I put a pin here, yeah, you can see it's 5 volts. So this does provide 5 volts. So the Amiga does provide 5 volts. It's pin 7 and 8 that are ground. 7 is 5 volts and 8 is ground. Okay, what I want to do next is I'm going to reset up, and I'm going to try to hook this to my QL. So let me do that. All right, I've got my QL hooked up to the gadget, and it's in Commodore 64 mode. And so trying this gamepad, and yeah, it doesn't do anything. Curious if I set it to C64. Still nothing. Yeah. So that's a no for the device on the QL. I thought that might be kind of cool, but it certainly works on the Amiga. Let me get back to the Amiga. So I'm back. I actually brought my Sega Genesis CDX out with Lemmings just because I wanted to actually wanted to try that controller, and it turns out that it gave me the same problems. It was intermittent, which made me realize that the issue was actually that I had bad batteries in it. So I found a set of good batteries and stuck them in here. It takes 4 AAA batteries, and if you take a look at it now, you'll see that again, if I'm too close, it's gonna get interference. But from here, if you can see, it's right here. I can go up, oops, yes, up, down, but it's holding it, left, right, and fire. So again, if I do it from far away, yeah, that is working. Look at that. And fire. So what I want to give it a try is, well, I've already played with this, so I just rebooted so that I would get a fresh start here. But just to show you, if I use the mouse one now, this works really well. So yeah, I can have a remote infrared joystick. That's pretty cool. Boom, close that. Close that. Again, still won't play the Lemmings with this, but other than that, yeah. So this works really well now. So that's cool. Now I can only do one joystick, even though this has this device gives you two, right? So there's the second one right here, but this I only have one of these. So I guess I would have to get two of these and plug one on each side of the. Well, the one concern would be if it's feeding in 5 volts twice. I think that should be fine because I don't think. I think this is only feeding in 5 volts in one place. Can you see that? Yeah, so I know that's weird that I'd rather use this than the that I'd rather use a gamepad than the mouse, but that's just what I've been using all the time. Let me just quickly show you the CDX, even though this is an Amiga video. Let me turn this to a TV mode. I'll reboot this. And I'm going to have to turn the, well, you'll see that the picture is lousy because this is going over RF. This is going over channel 3, and it's pretty lousy. But if I turn this off, much better picture. And now I have the physical controller on here, but yeah, this is Psychnosis as well. And again, I'm not going to play it, but it has a map and shows you the different areas. And yeah, I used to play that. I think I might have another one as well. But that's just the one that I picked out of my stack. And the picture it's RF, so it's a little fuzzy, but there's a hack you can do on the CDX to get composite out. But again, going back to my Amiga, using the Sentinel, which is designed for the Sega Genesis on my Amiga, is gonna be pretty cool because I can play some games that use joystick and be far enough away and not be worrying about cables and whatnot. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm glad that I brought this out so that I could actually figure out that was the batteries that was causing the problem. In any case, I think that's all I got for you guys today. Let me suggest watching some of the other fun and entertaining Amiga videos for Amiga, which is again a month-long celebration of all things Amiga. I am going to do, I've already done a few. I don't know when this might be the last one, or there might be one more coming out after this. So check that out. I will not be playing my Sega Genesis because I want to focus on this. So I got to find some games that are mouse, not mouse but joystickable. And so I know Turrican is one. I think I just haven't. I need to find it and download it. And then getting WHT load to work is usually a pain as well. But anyways, I'm going to end here. And so thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.